Hello Market Club members everywhere. Adam Hewison here, coming to you from the digital studios of Market Club. And there's a lot going on. Obviously tomorrow, Thursday, is when the Fed announces or doesn't announce it's going to raise interest rates or not going to raise interest rates. But look what's happening in the real market. This is the Dow. We had a signal today right here at 16,669. We told you what the resistance was before. We just went over that level. So it's a signal to exit the position, not go long, but just get out at the moment, which is probably a good advice given the fact that the announcement's coming tomorrow. Now look, the major trend in the Dow is still negative from 17,579, and also you are right up against the RSI line right here, which is not necessarily a good sign. This is where resistance should come in. I would not be surprised even at this juncture to see the market reverse back down. But having said that, the flow, at least in the very intermediate and short term, is on the upside. So let's see how that plays out for the rest of the day. It's still very early. It's around 11 o'clock here Eastern Standard Time, so let's see how that plays out. Not the same picture with the S&P 500. That's still negative. You can see that's right up against the RSI 50 line, which is resistance. The resistance levels, you can see you've got the previous highs right here. So we're just kind of butting up against that right now. And this is the level we talked about before. We think this is going to be on the downside. So let's see how that plays out. But again, this is the resistance. And this is the only market indice that we're still negative on. The other indices, the Dow, we're neutral on. And on the NASDAQ, which is the next index we're looking at, we are negative on that. We're still negative. This is the NASDAQ. You can see it's getting back to the Fibonacci numbers, but we do have a trade triangle that came in yesterday. We told you about that at 4,862. It's a little bit higher today, but we're right in the zone here. This 4,874.73, that's the Fibonacci retracement number from the very high to here. That is where the market should be finding resistance, and you're also flat up against the RSI line at 50, which is resistance. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out for the rest of the day. Now the euro, this is what we looked at on the euro. We're getting close to the 50th support line. Remember, the support line is 50 now on the euro, so we drew in a trend line. You can see we got very close to that today, and it just came right back up. So let's see how that plays out. Interest rates are going to affect this market, and but for the moment you should just be on the sidelines, because the red daily trade triangle is saying be on the sidelines. Intermediate and longer term trends still positive. Wait for this to turn green and then get long. Big story, of course, is crude oil today. We talked about this yesterday and what we thought was going to happen, and I think here's today's action. We're way up on the day, and this is what we looked at before. I think we drew the picture and we showed you what we thought was going to happen. Here was the up move, which we thought was very positive. That was kind of like the break out of the box up here. This is the trend line right here down. It broke over it today, and this is a continuation pattern. And that continuation pattern indicates that we should go higher. So normally with a continuation pattern, you measure from the lows right here, 38, to let's say the high 48. That's $10, and with a breakout point, we'll call that 45, let's say. So I could see potentially this going to the 54 to 55 levels, somewhere around these levels, which kind of makes sense in one way. So let's see how that plays out for the rest of the day. But it does mean the market is going higher, because you've got both the weekly and the daily, a strong upward trend. Last market's gold, and gold again, this is just really kind of dismal, but it's getting kind of interesting in the sense that it has a little pop here. Hasn't done anything per se, but it's getting close to the 50 line, which should be resistance. But the trend is down both on the monthly and the weekly. Only the daily is showing some strength today, and that came in today. You can see this right here, indicating you should be out of this market if you're a short-term trader. Only for short-term traders, you should be on the sidelines. So let's see how that plays out. All eyes are going to be on Janet Yellen tomorrow at 2 o'clock when the Fed announces or doesn't announce it's going to raise interest rates or not raise interest rates. Who knows? It's going to be interesting, but once that's out of the way, we'll have some great markets to trade and some great opportunities. Hey, listen, thanks for watching, and every success using Market Club.